I was spinning the hits on the Greater 3UZ, these songs were top 10 in Melbourne.
Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire and your desire.
Yeah!
What is it good for?
Smiling, you're out in the world today.
Everything's beautiful. The wonder of you.
Celebrating a century of sound. From 3UZ to RSN Racing and Sport.
Hong Kong is racing tonight.
Racing!
That's right, they're racing tonight at Happy Valley. You can follow the star Aussie trainers and riders like David Hayes. And if you bet on Hong Kong with the tab, you're diving into Hong Kong's massive world pools, known for stable odds and smoother payouts. Catch all the action on Sky Racing and streaming services. Hong Kong racing tonight. Presented by Hong Kong Jockey Club. Is this a bet you really want to make? For free and confidential support, visit gamblershelp.com.au.
On a game day, work day, school day, moving day, rainy day, you can ask, are you okay any day? Because life happens every day. Check in often and have regular, meaningful conversations with those you care about. Ask, are you okay any day? Because a conversation could change a life. Learn how to ask at areyouok.org.au.
On RSN Racing and Sport, it's time for the grey areas with Jason Adams and George Ferrugia.
That kid was a human dynamo.
Are you sure you're talking about George?
George of the jungle, friend to you and me.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Grey Areas. My name is Jason Adams. I'm back. Not at full fitness, but I'm back. And back from the City of Churches is the great man, George Ferrugia. How are you travelling, my very good friend?
Oh, I am, mate. Yeah, you sound still a little bit nasally. You need some of that Manuka honey just to sort of sort you out a little bit.
Yeah, I need some remedies. I need some suggestion off the text, 0416 90 50 52. What are some total bombs that you can just drop on your sinuses that'll clear them?
Well,
I'm not so much crook anymore. It's just crap hanging around in my cranium somewhere.
You know, obviously when...
Don't say a dozen stubbies either, because that'll kill me.
Chili king prawns.
Yeah.
Really hot
some real
chili.
Like a beef vindaloo or something.
Hot food. Don't mind me hot food. Is that some sort of
hot food
option?
Hot chili will clear you out. Don't worry about that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if you want to go the easier route, obviously Kramer, when he had a cough, he went to the vet. He brought schmuckers around and that sorted him out. He got stopped him from drinking out of the toilet bowl, but... That was a great episode. You'll be right, mate. You do sound a little bit better. You look all right.
Yeah, I tell you what, Tui's new didn't help on Saturday night up in Sydney.
Well, here we go. We're getting to the bottom of what the issue is here now, mate.
Anyway, what about yourself, Georgie? How was the captain's run?
No, it was good.
What Adelaide's captain's run on Sunday night?
It was good. It was good. I couldn't believe what I was watching. What a train wreck. Unbelievable.
What were you thinking?
79 to 8.
As one of Hawthorn's finest members and supporters for many a years, you could have been thrilled with what was happening on the turf.
No, it was a car wreck. It was unbelievable. And I tell you what, watching 45,000 Port fans lay into you put some hairs on your chest. They deserved
They're nice people, aren't they?
Well, the guys I was hanging around with were. Look,
I'm amazed you got out of Adelaide live, George.
They deserved it. Hawthorn needed the kick up the bum, and they were being. I have to say this, guys. Though I'm not sure if you guys have been to a Magic Round. It's
Gather Rounds.
Gather Round. It's something you need to do on your bucket list. And I was only there for the Sunday, obviously, but friends of mine went and took some of their families as well. A lot of great activations for the kids. I think all 18 AFL teams are responsible for going out, signing autographs, doing handballs. It's sort of like it is outside of the MCG on Grand Final week. But then on the Sunday at Norwood, they have a great Norwood food and wine festival where they just close off like 2K of the street. The actual ground is in the middle of all of this. Great DJs and bands and music. Fantastic. So something that you really, really need to do. Adelaide have nailed it. No wonder the AFL don't want to take it off them.
All right, firstly, the quaddie coming up at Sale. There's an omen bet for you and me, George, in Are You OK?
Yeah, that's
for
right.
both of us.
It'll just win, won't it?
What we've experienced over the weekend.
$10.
All right, 2 is the favourite at $3.10. Let's get the James on track. Race 5 at Sale.
Jump from 2, Percival. Looks a good chance of finding the lead. We're looking to try and cross over in front and take some catching from there. So they're about to be loaded. Racing over the 4:35. 3:20 now, Percival Fave ahead of the 7, Daintree Granite. The red, Summit and June. They're both at 4:60. Starting signal. So they're moving in. Race 5. Running over the 4:35 and the last of them placed away. Green light turned on and they're set to run at sail for the 5th. Stand by. Off and racing now. Pretty even line. Summit and June out fast. Great speed from Disco Gizmo from the middle. Is going to carve across and lead. Dr. Katarina, who came charging out of the pack to 2nd and now challenges the lead. Right on their tail, Are You OK? 3rd, followed by Daintree Granite, who's fairly close. And then a long break to Percival. Kilmany Warrior. Summit and June at the end. Disco Gizmo came back on the corner. Drew 2 in front from Daintree Granite, rushing into 2nd. But Disco Gizmo is going to win it. Disco Gizmo by 2 lengths. A smart win, beating Daintree Granite. 3rd, Dr. Katarina. Then Are You OK? From Percival, Kilmany Warrior, Summit and June back at the end. 24 and 81 the gallop for Disco Gizmo. For Joey Sultana, has been able to ride straight across and take the lead from box number 5. Brought Dr. Katarina into the race right on his tail, but the yellow's been able to kick sufficiently after being headed up around that home corner. But Dr. Katarina is not known for a strong closing section, so Disco Gizmo bet off that challenge and then staved off Daintree Granite. It'll be 5 from 7, 6/3 ahead of number 3. 24 and 81 the time. Disco Gizmo first. Joseph Sultana at Trafalgar East. Get it, Gizmo and Wonderful World. It's 5 the yellow, beating 7 Daintree Granite. Cindy Fulford at Mafra. Fernando Bale, Persian Goddess. And number 6/3, Dr. Katarina. Did a good job after missing the kick to eventually hit the lead off the back, but just worked really.
And I've got those, James. Allow me 5, 7, 6 and 3 and an $8 kickoff to the first leg of the quaddie there today. So a bit of value early. Number 5, Disco Gizmo, $8.70 and $3.10. 7, Daintree Granite at $2.50. Nathia Div, number 6, Dr. Katarina, and 3, Are You OK? The Quinella 21, Exacta $47, Trifecta $286, and the first 4 on the race $1,196. 5, 7, 6 and 3. Running double, 2 yellows, 5 and 5, $29.
Okay, a couple of suggestions off the text to clear up my sinuses. The first one coming from ending in 882, a bit of a naturally produced juice that I can't mention on air. The other one is go get a 7 milligram nicotine patch and wear it for 3 days and it'll be gone. Never saw myself buying one of those, Georgie.
Oh, I had to double take looking at those 2 SMSs, mate. But anyway.
Eucalyptus oil.
Yeah.
That night.
Manuka honey, eucalyptus oil. He did.
I've done the eucalyptus oil in the bowl of boiling water. I put too much eucalyptus in. Almost put me 6 foot under, Johnny.
I'll give you another one, a sauna. You'll be fine.
Grange Hermitage.
Yeah.
It won't fix it, but you won't care.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, Georgie, are the Hawks going to bounce back on Monday?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. They'll put in a better performance for sure. You're never going to be 79 to 8 down again, are you?
Well,
God.
you'd hope not. Don't take it too seriously, me getting stuck into you, George, because I've been there. Difference is I've been there in grand finals, which isn't ideal.
Yeah, and Port Adelaide did that to you once at Adelaide Oval too.
Last year.
Didn't it? Yeah. How did you go with the cheese and kisses watching Sydney Collingwood?
I was in and out, given I was on air on Sky down the back room, so I wasn't thrilled with what was happening, to say the least.
Going good, the Pies.
Anyway.
John's been very quiet about it.
What did you think, John?
I'm dancing on the inside.
Did you back him?
I don't bet on the footy.
Okay.
Silly from John. We'll turn him by the end of the season.
Anyway, on to some greyhound stuff. Now, George, we teased a piece last week. Now, Maths has played some sort of role in grey areas for a period of time now, and you would have seen a video that went live this morning, as many would have, through the Gap social media channels of the famous Ree and Jeff promoting greyhound adoption. You would have been quite keen on what you saw.
Was that his name, Jeff? I know Ree.
I know you know Ree.
I know about Ree, but not about Jeff. Great little video put together about greyhound racing.
Great clip, yep. Molly Damo have done a great job at GRV. We had Cam Munster on the Today Show Saturday morning. Well, they're nice and early at the Meadows on Saturday. Nick Watson, your man, on all sports bulletins last Thursday. So for anyone out there who has a suggestion as who we can go to next to promote greyhounds and particularly greyhound adoption, Text in 0416 90 50 52.
So we've covered the two big codes in Australia. Obviously, the AFL and the NRL. Probably one of the highest rating shows in maths. Where to now, Jace? It feels like the only way is down.
We haven't
Is
got
it
John
a dart
Henry
player?
yet. We haven't got John Henry yet.
Yeah,
International makes it a bit hard.
Yeah.
Simon Whitlock,
Are we a
the
chance
wizard.
to get like Littler in Australia at some stage?
In
Is he
August.
Is he still choking in big finals? Or what's happening?
No, he's won. We didn't win the Premier League Friday just gone, but the past two he's won.
Okay. Sorry, Luke. It was fantastic, though. It's good. Yep. Because it's relatable to people that are watching those type of shows, including yourself and the lovely Jess. Obviously, I'm not a maths fan, but I know you guys are keen on it. But yeah,
Please. Oh,
Anyway, there was an adoption day at the Meadows
obviously
on
they're
Sunday.
Melbourne people, aren't they? Yeah, they're both from here.
Yes, correct.
You haven't seen the video, watch it. It's good.
Yep, get involved. All right, let's get into the racing. And Matt Locke last Friday night at Geelong, George. He won the Geelong Cup, and it was just such a typical Matt Locke performance. I mean, Vincent Bale was just mammoth in defeat, but early speed just prevails more often than not, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, look, you and I spoke about it. We spoke about it with Nathalia as well, the king of Nathalia, Dan Hibbard, that there was Matt Locke with his early speed, and then there was a whole bunch of them behind him. He just set up such a great little buffer from his best to the other finalists, and that's what he needed to do, Jason, and he did it very, very impressively. So congratulations again. We've spruced about Michelle Mullier a few times on the show and the way she's handled Stomping and Matlock. I think both greyhounds, obviously Litter Brothers, have been absolutely fantastic. But our man, Vincent Bale, take nothing away. And that's what needed to happen, didn't it? That's what needed to happen. He needed to get away and hope that Vincent Bale got held up a little bit, and that's exactly what was the case. And look, a good local win. And both greyhounds probably going forward, again, can have another good 6 to 12 months, hopefully, in them. But no, well done to Matt Locke.
And he deserves feature race wins as well. I mean, 12 months ago, he won the Warrnambool Cup around the same period.
Yeah.
He won the Western Districts Derby and ironically defeated Vincent Bale on that occasion as well. So he's still doing the damage.
Vincent Bale was fantastic. He was in second place. But again, that early speed, had to contend with an awkward draw. There was a little bit of speed drawn around Matt Locke, and he was just too good for them. So obviously with the Warrnambool Cup just around the corner, Jason, he'd go in as one of the leading contenders. You'd suggest Matt Locke for sure.
And off the track, that Geelong Cup night, I should say, last Friday was the highest turnover meeting of the week, eclipsing the Sandown and the Meadows.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic to hear. Look, Geelong's always been a really popular track, and I think it was well spruced in the lead up. So congratulations to Parko out there in Geelong and all his team.
Yep, and as well, Matty Field is a big fan of the show, and he's texted in. Great to have you back on board, Matty. A couple other texts have come in. Hey guys, Morton and Scalacci and the other Victorians in the Anniversary Cup heats at Angle Park on Thursday night. I might check those fields and we'll touch on them towards the latter part of the show. And another text message there, George. It's come in from 796.
Yeah, toughen up, princess. A blob of Vicks Vapor Rub, each nostril done and dusted. Anthony from Tasmania. They'd know about cold weather and trying to get over the chills there, mate. So maybe listen to Anthony there. But you'll get there.
Well,
mate.
toughen up, princess might be quite accurate as well.
Yeah, maybe just stay off the beer for just this week.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
You know what you have? Here's another one, John.
That's no good for you. It's no good for you.
A limoncello. That'll fix you up.
Oh.
A few of them.
You're a big fan. I've heard
I'll buy you a bottle.
I've heard that from a few restaurateurs.
Limoncello, chili, saunas.
You'll be fine.
I'm in for it. Over the next few days. Up north on Saturday night, Power and Glory won the Golden Easter Egg, defeated Jungle Johnny in our own Lakeview Emily, and this was an amazing edition of the Easter Egg, George. I don't think anyone would have predicted Power and Glory to be where he was going through that first term, but to go on like he did, 29.15, a race record. It was some sort of performance from a greyhound who was threatened to do this sort of stuff since he debuted in New South Wales.
Yeah, look, a huge result. And Jason, you've got to hand it to this greyhound. He had to deal with box 5 in the semi-final with Lakeview Emily high-balling out in front. And again in the final, had to deal with box 6 with Good Odds Cobber off the one, Jungle Johnny there, Lakeview Emily, for him to do what he did. I mean, you absolutely can take nothing away. And the fact that he ran 29.15 to create a race record, unbelievable. A son of Hooked on Scotch, doing great things. His 3-week period was amazing. Jungle Johnny, I don't think he lost any admirers, did he? His run was fantastic. He ran 29.24 himself to lose a golden Easter egg, if you don't
Incredible.
mind. But take nothing away from Power of Glory. Ken Burnett, terrific effort. Hopefully we get to see him in Melbourne. I really hope we get to see him in Melbourne for the Harrison Dawson. The only time he has come here, we haven't seen his best, but I'm sure he'll be close to his best when he comes this time. He's got that air about him now. He went 5.42 early, which is good enough, Jace, to compete when he comes down to Melbourne. And as I said, he done it from pretty awkward box draws, so congratulations.
Yep, indeed. And it was a great night at Wentworth Park on Saturday night. Not that it was littered with amazing races. I mean, the guts of it really made the meeting, but the amount of stories and emotion that unfolded with the backstories of some of the winners were just amazing. So if you want to go back and recapture and rewatch any of that, make sure you go to the Sky Racing website. In yesterday's edition of the Morning Line, or Monday's edition of the Morning Line, it is all there. Over in the West, George, the Sandgroper field has been finalised, and this is a slot race, as we know, that's comparable to the Phoenix. Not on the same scale, but the field is done and dusted. So Kenya All Class, Miss Envy, Tim Zoo, Deadly Avenger, Good Odds Cobber, West on Sydney, Lakeview Emily, and Explicit. And in the words of the great David Shorts, this will be one of the most highly anticipated events in the history of the sport in Western Australia.
Yeah, and as you were going through that field, I could probably count 5 greyhounds that are going to be wanting to vie for the lead, which is a scary proposition, Jason. And obviously the box draw really comes into play here. And then if you can throw in a dog like Tim Zoo, if he draws where he wants to, Jason, he's a chance at his best as well. I think all eyes are really on Explicit, aren't they? And what he can produce, and will we see his best? Of course, he was in the Sandgroper last year. I think started favourite in the race, finished unplaced. There was a lot of traffic, wasn't there, running into that back section, and Hector Fawley was able to get the run and then showed what Hector Fawley's capable of doing. So that's a great field. We've got a couple of weeks to promote this now, the 24th. So what's that, 8 days away now?
Yep.
So fantastic. So cannot wait, more than 8 days, sorry. Cannot wait to see what eventuates. When's the box draw, Jace?
No idea.
Okay,
we've got early next week.
We've got to find out that, and yeah, because it's going to be all important. There's no doubt about that. But early tip,
No, you can't have a tip in a race like that pre-box draw.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how Explicit goes. It really is. And for Total Containers to select West on Sydney going in as one of the more inexperienced runners, but with the track record under his belt, and as I said, his last start was his best first section. They want a replication of that, and if they can do that, can he step up to the mark against these greyhounds who are tired and true over this level?
All right, we'll have more information about that on Friday. We will be here for Good Friday, and of course next Wednesday as well. Speaking of big race meetings, the Sandown meeting tomorrow night is strong, particularly through the meat of the sandwich, and it's headlined by the launching pad. We spoke you and Mr. Nathalia, Daniel Hibbard, spoke last Friday, wrapping up the semi-finals on Thursday night. Dashing Slay was unbelievable. I mean, to break 29 seconds at this point of her career, I mean, only Wow She's Fast has done that through a launching pad series. So this girl can run. She's a short price favourite in the final tomorrow night. Is she the one to beat?
Yeah, clearly, but just that first 50 metres is something that she has to negotiate. Not to say that she doesn't have enough speed, Jason. She certainly does, but there's speed drawn all around her. So things are going to have to go right early, and then if she's able to get into a good enough position, I think she'll be hard to beat. I keep looking at Wyong Dallas for me in this race.
Even from the pink?
Yeah, even from the pink. I just think he can card into a nice enough position. I know we're not big fans of greyhounds drawn off the pink at Sandown Park, but I think if he can get into a nice enough position on that first corner, if there is a little bit of a shuffle up, I think he'll use his brains and be hard to hold out. What about the run that South Australia are having at the moment? Obviously, a pillar winning the Association Cup at Wentworth Park, and now Dashing Slay, the Gather Round. It's been a big week for South Australia. Where are you leaning here? I mean, it's interesting because Doongala Jessie is going to set the tone early, isn't it? I mean, a greyhound that's just led up in a couple of its races and records unbelievable splits. So that's a concern for Dashing Slay, but does like to use a bit of the track. So interesting.
Yeah, it's awkward because Shimmer's standing 4 has pace and wants to be on the fence as well. So who knows? But one thing is for sure and certain that Doongala Jessie, I think, will lead from box 1. And hey, let's not move past one of the biggest points in the race, at least from a grey areas point of view. You own Valenzuela. He'll jump from box 3. What hope is he? And congratulations, Georgie, on making the final.
Yeah, I was really happy with his run. Again, we've raced Wyong Dallas a few times and we're not able to get too close to him, Jason. So I don't go in with a lot of confidence. And Dashing Slay does tend to use a bit of the track, so that's the problem for my boy. But yeah, proud to be in it. But if he runs a place, I'd be over the moon.
A couple of the others support acts for the launching pad tomorrow night. The launching pad Consolation, where Gambella is the favourite there, and she was dead set massive last week, as she was in her heat where she won. She wasn't able to get the chocolates last week, but going back through the data, George, she ran home in 10:26. So for anyone who is familiar with run home times at Sandown, that is unfathomable. That is huge.
That's what stayers would run home in. Yeah.
And the most powerful of stayers.
Yeah. It's scary. I'm not to suggest that she's ever going to run 700. She might not, but her run was unbelievable, considering a greyhound is running 28.97 out on the bunny as well. And sometimes you lose sight of the lure that she was that far behind. It was an incredible victory. We're going to talk about our best bets in a minute, but she's certainly going to be ahead of mine. Just a few SMSs coming through. This is a good remedy. Always works for us up in the Mallee, Jason, to take a concrete pill from Sean. Thanks, Sean.
You could find it on the shelf in the Mallee.
And also, Jason, George and John, enjoy the grey areas. Try raw garlic cloves. We'll clear your system and symptoms for sure. Kenny from Cranbourne.
What are cloves? So that's like original garlic, yeah?
Yeah, just a normal garlic clove. But if you eat it raw, my advice would be probably say to the missus to stay away for about 2 or 3 days, because it's going to come out of your pores. You're going to stink. But that's okay. She does love you.
So you're telling me garlic bread and butter won't do the trick?
No, none of that crap. You got to use the right stuff. So Kenny from Cranbourne, we've given him all the tools now to come back here on a Friday, as fresh as a daisy.
All right, magnificent. That launching pad Consolation is made up of greyhounds around 3rd and 4th in their semi-final. Then we've got the runway final, which is the first leg of the quaddie, and this race is made up of greyhounds who bombed out in their heats. Then, of course, that heat to the runway last week, and Myalata from box 1 looks to be the one to beat, George. I mean, I just get a feeling of reliability about this greyhound and the way he performs.
Yeah, can show a lot of good early speed. But the only issue I find here is that there are other greyhounds who can probably get to the market around 5:05 and under. I think Nancy DeVere is one of them. I thought Accredited's run last week was very good, albeit he now has to shift from box 1 to box 8. So that's a concern. Needful was one of the better chances I thought last week as well. So not an easy race, probably a little bit open, probably at a little bit of value. I think Nancy DeVere is certainly in contention here at around $6.
And outside of the Launching Pad series, but still a major race on the night, is the Easter Gift. That is race 7. We see a few of Victoria's sharpest open class sprinters lining up here. Vincent Bale, after he was runner-up to Matt Locke at Geelong last week. Bagman, who was just sublime last Thursday night, and Bebop Jazz from box 1. So pretty good contest, but you'd assume a lot of the attention will surround them and probably Aston Gozo as well.
Yeah, look, Aston Gozo certainly has not put a foot wrong. Has she been incredible? Bebop Jazz just bombed the start last week. Now comes up with the plum draw, but yeah, again, I think Vincent Bale will be prominent in that race.
Before we get into your tips, there's another text message here, George, ending in 490.
Yes.
Make sure you attach your names to these as well.
Is Patch allowed to go over to Perth for the Sandgroper this year, or has Jess put her foot down? Well, if he keeps eating the garlic, she'll probably kick him off on the bus. Probably don't want him over there spreading his germs anyway.
She's getting quite famous, Jess.
Very famous.
She might have to end up being part of the program.
Yeah. Hey, maybe the weather would be a good thing for me over in the west.
Are you going? You 100% in? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they don't want you in WA, but I really do like the concern from our listeners about your health.
Was Miata from WA?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So Keep the suggestions coming through.
Keep them in. I've got a stack to work with going into next week. All right, George, tips for Sandown Park tomorrow night.
Okay, I'm going to kick off race 4, number 3, Duwana Fernando. I like this greyhound over 600 metres. I think his record is solid. I liked his placing behind Honey's End last start. Last time he had a 5.95. He defeated a Trullo Bale, who again he competes against here. Clearly does his best racing if he's drawn closer to the fence. So race 4, number 3. I'm really keen on Gambella. I thought her run was unbelievable. I know she's drawn box 6 here again, Jace, but she went 5.15. She can trim that down a little bit, and I think if she does, watch out here. I know there's some talented greyhounds, Irish Bill, these type, Chicken Fish, Milton Cranberry, but if she's anywhere near them, she'll be hard to beat. And in the Easter gift, I know Bagman's run last week was great, and he handles wide draws, and he's just racing in such a rich vein of form. But I think if Vincent Bale gets a little bit of a crack here, he'll be hard to beat. I thought his Geelong Cup run was just incredible. He races probably better at Sandown than he does anywhere else, to be honest. He's won 8 out of 18. He's got a terrific PB. And, again, tricky draw, but he's my tip, race 7, number 5.
Outstanding. And before we move on from the action at Sandown tomorrow night, there is a silent auction that's running through the club and the Sandown Vet Clinic with straws to Aston Rupee and Hooked on Scotch, donated by Ray Border and Darren Pulio. All proceeds going to the Good Friday appeal. And at the moment, the bids are below par, so there's an absolute chance here to pick up a steal. So for anyone in the breeding game who's interested, get in touch with the Sandown Vet Clinic or the club itself, and it finishes at midday tomorrow.
Well, 2 sires doing great things. So, I mean, you know, we're talking about A-grade sires. We just spoke about Power and Glory being out of Hooked on Scotch. Hooked on Scotch has been a terrific sire, and Aston Rupee's got some very fast greyhounds. We've seen Tribeca, who burst onto the scene only a couple of weeks ago. Just another SMS here. George, I'm a greyhound man myself. I'd like to add that Apilla's trainer, Damien Smith, trained his first Group 1 winner. So congratulations to Damien. It was a very, very good victory. She's racing in such great form, winning her last 4 Apilla. So going in with a little bit of confidence. There's races like the 7.15 coming up, the Sandown Cup, Jay. So I'm sure we'll see her front and centre.
Yeah, 100% correct. If you're keen to get along to Sandown tomorrow night, fair bit happening. Easter egg hunt out in the Box 9 area. So make sure you get there if you're able to tomorrow night. Later today, George, the nominations close for the Meadows on Saturday night, and what will be a popular thing again to come out of a Metro meeting is there was another veterans race scheduled, and having a suss of the nominations, I won't go into them, but it will be a pretty good contest.
Hector?
Yet again.
I know you can't
Yeah, we'll
say
see him there.
Is
We'll see him there.
Hector
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's also going to be a free-for-all over 600 metres based on the way that the nominations have fallen at the moment. So a couple of, although fields aren't out, a couple of real points of interest heading into that Meadows meeting this Saturday night. Now, George, we're going to be here on Friday. Good Friday. Yeah,
yes.
We're on the tools. We'll be here having fun as we always do. And one of my favourite shows that we did have a bit of fun on that we worked was the Christmas Eve show where I fired some questions at you.
Yes.
Couldn't believe you drive 115 Ks in the right lane on the freeway. I mean, no wonder you had a crash before the Ansett Cup going into Waverley Park.
Yeah, I blame the weather.
Anyway, we'll have some fun on Friday, but one man who won't be here is John Henry. He's got it off for the first time in a long time.
You're leaving us. You're
I've
making
got
fish
good.
pie.
I've got Good Friday off. Thank you to Hoss the boss.
Hoss the boss.
Who's
so what are you going to do?
Just take it easy. I'm working Saturday as normal, but I've worked the last few Good Fridays, so I pulled a tantrum and.
You've got your beloved Pies playing on the Thursday. Got a couple of limoncellos I can see in your future.
They're playing Thursday night, you're right, against Brisbane. Yeah,
Brisbane be a good game. Good luck to the both of you. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Who do the Hawks play? Oh, you're playing Monday.
Taking Nate on Monday to the great MCG.
So we'll be back on Friday. We'll have a lot of fun, given it's a public holiday. We'll bend the rules a bit. Thank you to everyone who's contributed on the text with my illness, which I've got a lot of remedies in there, including concrete, some X-rated content and all sorts of things that have come in.
And some that will go unmentioned.
Sorry about the obscure bet too. Melbourne let us down. We needed to mention it.
Dan Hibbard was keen too.
Tanner Bale did the right thing, but bloody Melbourne. What the hell was that?
Anyway. Unbelievable. As good as the Hawks.
Come on.
Anyway, John, thank you. George, thank you. I'll see you Friday. In the meantime, race 6 at Sale, fast approaching. Let's get on track with James.
So runners at the start here, Jace. This to get us through to race number 6, the halfway point of the program. $2.50 about the favourite Fly Chic. We were with it last week and to be fair, it was a little bit unlucky. Almost crossed the lead. Went 5.17 to the first peg. It wasn't enough to find the lead on that occasion. So coming back the week later, a 5.17 to the peg today, and you'd be tipping that Fly Chic will probably have enough speed to cross and lead. So the 2 Jumbuck Punky can hit the start down low. Was a